Hi everyone, today I wanted to talk about moon in the ninth house. How does it affect your chart and your personality in general? So keep watching. Today we are here to talk about the moon in the ninth house. So let's talk about the ninth house first. The ninth house has to do with, so every house in the zodiac wheel represents a certain area of your life. And so the ninth house represents themes around spirituality, long distance travel, the faith that you grew up with, religion, um, a very exploring slash curiosity based nature. It's a Sagittarius rule house, so these themes are very prevalent. When we talk about the moon, this is your emotions. This is your subconscious mind. It's a part of you that, or a part of your personality that not a lot of people are aware of. In fact, very few people get to see a person's moon side or the moon side of their personality. It's usually very close friends, family members, people like that. People who are very close to you who will get to see this side of you. So when you have moon in the ninth house, you these themes are very important to you for your emotional well-being, because we're talking about the moon here, which is your emotions, your emotional well-being, and the things that you need to feel happy and contented in life. So when we talk about moon in the ninth house, um, spirituality, faith, philosophy, these are going to be very important for you in your life. Now, because the moon rules the mother, traditionally, it represents the mother in the zodiac chart, the astrology chart. Your mother could have been very instrumental in your education or in imparting certain values to you, or the knowledge that you've gained in your life could have been due to a significant portion imparted by your mother, because, and it doesn't have to be education per se, it could just be um, philosophy or your values and ethics in life. These could have been like your mother could have been a very strong influence in your life when it came to these aspects of your life. Um, and so you may look to your mother as a guiding force when it comes to these areas of your life. Spirituality, faith, religion. I don't really like to talk about religion that much, but it's more about your spirituality and your faith. These are very important to you, and you may question these from time to time in your life. So you may go through phases where you may question the faith that you grew up with. You may try to explore different faiths, different spiritualities, or that are different from what you grew up with, because you are naturally very curious about the world, especially about different cultures. And it's also because the ninth house rules long distance travel, so uh, for you, traveling, getting out there, meeting new people, exploring new cultures is very important to you, because this is how you learn more about the world and more about yourself. It's almost like you discover your emotional landscape through travel and through meeting different people. In fact, the more diverse the cultures are, the more fascinated and intrigued you are by it. So you would typically love to meet people from very different cultures from what you grew up with. You would love to meet people with very different faiths compared to what you grew up with, because that's your way to sort of broaden your horizon, your outlook towards life. Because again, we're talking about the ninth house here, which is a very spiritual house. It's also a Sagittarius ruled house, so it's very Jupiterian in its flavor generally. So it's very expansive. You love to magnify your knowledge, and the way you do that is through ninth house themes. That is especially long distance travel. That's why I said the more different the culture is from what you grew up with, the more fascinated you're going to be by it, and you're going to want to explore it more. Of course, it depends on what sign your moon is in. Like I always say in all of my videos, it depends on the whole chart, which is why I always say, if you would like a comprehensive analysis that is tailored to your particular personality, then yes, I do need to look at the whole chart to give you a proper picture. But generally, it's going to depend on your moon sign as well, of course. So if you have, for example, moon in Gemini in the ninth house, your quest for satisfying your curiosity for knowledge could be through academic means, because that's very Gemini in its nature. Gemini loves to read, they love textbooks, and their way of quenching their thirst for knowledge is through academics. They love to read books, and they love, because Gemini is ruled by Mercury, they love the details. So for them, it's about learning through books, through academics. Whereas if you are a moon in Sagittarius in the ninth house, it's going to be very different. You could be academically inclined. I'm not saying that you aren't, but for you, the way you gain your knowledge is through travel, is through actually hands-on real life experiences. Because again, these are polar opposites. We're talking about Gemini, Sagittarius, opposite ends of the axis. Gemini deals with the details. Sagittarius could not be bothered about the details. They love looking at the big picture. For them, it's about, let me learn through experiences. That's how you would learn if you're a moon in Sagittarius in the ninth house. Now, that being said, there is a tendency towards idealism with this particular placement. If you have moon in the ninth house, you may find that you have a tendency to idealize situations, people, how life should be in general, how people should behave in general. You may have a very idealized viewpoint about these things, and sometimes you may get disheartened because the reality may not match up to your the image that you have of how the world should be. So you could sometimes be disappointed with life in general. There is also a tendency towards escapism. I'm not gonna lie. Sometimes, because Sagittarius also has this tendency where, because reality is rooted in routine a lot of the times, like your daily life is made up of your daily habits, and that can be very routine and monotonous sometimes for a moon and ninth house person. They love variety, they love adventure, they look at everything as an adventure. So when things become too humdrum, too monotonous, they tend to turn towards escapism. So not being able to deal with reality on a continuous basis, that can be a hurdle for moon and ninth house people. So that's one of the flip sides of having this placement. When I talk about the idealized aspect, when you have a tendency to idealize people and how the world should be, one of the ways this kind of balances itself out is that you are very psychic in nature. Like the moon and ninth house people, they're very psychic. Now, this is not being psychic like in a water house sense, because the ninth house is not a water house. It's not like moon in fourth house, eighth house, or 12th house. Those people are psychic more on a emotional, feeling-based level. For you, you're more psychic on an instinctual level. You're very, very good at judging people, their character. It's because of the psychic nature that you have. You can tap into people's intentions very quickly. And so you're very gifted in that sense. You are very psychic, but again, it's a very instinctual based psychic mechanism that you have. It's not a watery kind of psychic ability that you have. So that is important, because this kind of balances itself out, because even when you do idealize situations and things and people, and even when you do get disappointed, because you are also very psychic, it kind of balances things out, where you don't end up putting your faith in the wrong people. So that's actually a good thing. You can be very lucky actually, because it's a Jupiter ruled house. Ninth house is a Sagittarius house. It's ruled by Jupiter, and Jupiter is often compared with the Wheel of Fortune card. It's about abundance, it's about wealth, and it's a benefic influence. So for you generally have a tendency towards being well favored by fortune. You do have pretty good luck on your side for the most part. Of course, it's going to depend on aspects to your moon as well. Like I always say, it's not just one particular placement. It's going to depend on aspects. If you have a not so good aspect with your moon, it's going to dilute some of these advantages that I'm talking about. Travel is very important to you. Now, of course, it's going to depend on the chart. You could be a complete homebody. You could have a moon in a sign which absolutely hates travel, which absolutely hates change of any kind. So this is going to give it a different flavor. That's why everybody is so unique. Everybody's chart is so unique. It's like a fingerprint, no two people are the same. So it's going to depend on a lot of factors. Moon in the ninth house, generally overall, I feel like you are very gifted. You do have the advantage of good fortune. You're generally able to amass wealth quite easily, and usually it's through a career path or through something that you actually enjoy. Because for you, because your emotional well-being is based on these themes, if you're not happy, then your mind is not going to be engaged in any career path that you're in. So for you to feel emotionally happy, these themes in your life have to be very solid. So I would say, if you're a moon and ninth house person, make travel a part of your life, even if you don't like it. It doesn't have to be long distance travel. It could even be just traveling within your own city. But the point is, travel is important for you, and meeting people who are different from what you've grown up around, that's actually very stimulating for you, because it's going to open up your mind. It's going to broaden your outlook. It's going to teach you a lot of things, and you have a natural hunger for knowledge. You know, it's often associated with a teacher-student relationship, this particular house. So you often yearn to have somebody to learn from. You have that thirst for knowledge. So you may be the kind of person who interns somewhere. Like if you want to learn a new skill, you may actually go to somebody who specializes in that, stay in a completely different country or a different city from your own, intern with that person for many months or many years, learn the skill, and then come back and become a specialized person in that particular field. So that may be one of the ways it plays out. But that's a bit about moon in the ninth house, and how this plays out in your chart. If you like this video, do give it a thumbs up. Your likes help my videos stay relevant in the YouTube algorithm, and also help motivate me to, continue to produce more content for you, my lovely subscribers. And if you'd like to book a reading with me, you can definitely drop me a message on email. The link is in the description box below, and I'll get back to you soon. Thanks a lot for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye bye.